Mr. Jones, this is George Bush, the President of the United States, and I've heard many things that you have, been saying on the internet and other various, mediums that are out there. I understand you have problems with, the government, and you believe in many, conspiracies. But I believe that we can work this out. If you will, take my phone call, we can speak about this stuff. We will work this out. It's diplomacy. Diplomatic diplomacy is the way to go. And if the two of us can work this out, and I think we can, we will we'll definitely have it worked out then. All right. Well, we'll try it back. If you need to keep doing what you're doing, do it. But okay.
Back when I got that call from Frank Caliendo playing the part of George Bush, I actually got another one later, but we never even put it on the air. I told people I thought it was Frank Caliendo, and a few weeks later, when I was back on the Mancow show, both of them called me, and I was on air with them, and they said, yeah, your guesstimation was correct. It was Frank Caliendo. And so a lot of people still think on the internet that that's really George Bush. There's hundreds of thousands of views, several videos. One of them's got about 250,000. Another one has about 100,000 views just on YouTube alone, with these huge debates raging and people thinking that George Bush really called me and that I'm somehow in league with George Bush. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's Frank Caliendo, who hosts multiple TV shows. Currently has one on CBS and TBS, and be on the show coming up here in just a little while. Frank, thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, glad to talk to you.
You bet. A lot of people still think that George Bush really called me.
Hey, Alex, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Are you going to miss Bush leaving office?
Yeah, I think in some ways, but I don't think people are going to forget him. So I think that there's definitely a legacy in many ways. Listen, it's interesting. Some people love the president. There's a lot of people that don't, and he's a two-term president. So I think the one-term presidents get forgotten pretty quickly. Two-term presidents usually have a scandal or two. So, and people, people tend to blame a president, even though there's things that are outside of that president's realm of blame sometimes. But I think that, I think people will definitely know. I am working on the McCain and Obama, and more recently I've started working on Obama pretty hard.
Yeah, you're one of the most prolific, if not the most prolific, imitators, or somebody who can, basically copy to a T. What's your favorite impersonation right now?
Charles Barkley, because I can call somebody a knucklehead and they don't complain about it.
Give us a Charles Barkley.
See, that guy's a knucklehead. That's what I'm talking about. He's a terrible, terrible, really bad knucklehead. And he kind of speaks the truth, the real Charles Barkley. So what I do is I make him a little bit crazy and talk from that perspective. I got followed in by a couple leprechauns. So then let me tell you something. If you're ever at the end of the rainbow, run with that pot of gold, because those leprechauns will not get rid of you. It's terrible.
Have you ever seen that TV newscast where the people really think there's a leprechaun?
No.
Yeah, just Google leprechaun on the news, and these people going, I think there's a leprechaun. There he is in the tree. What about a George Bush imitation? Since he's leaving office here, can you tell us how George Bush is feeling about the economy and the whole police state he's set up?
Well, I think it's difficult. I think you're talking about the Patriot Act and whatnot that we're talking about there. We need to know what's going on. We need to understand what's happening in this world, and we need to know what's going on behind closed walls or doors or whatever they're closed. So the next thing is this bailout. I think we have to do it. I think we have to understand that's something that's a necessary necessity of necessity-ness. Or something.
Well, you're the decider. Have you heard that some people think 9/11's an inside job, that you did it, Mr. President?
Well, I've heard that. I think that's Charles, what do you think that is? I think that's a bunch of knuckleheads. Even Charles Barkley thinks that's crazy. But if people can think what they want to think, I'm willing to. I'm willing to be hated to protect this country.
Where were the WMDs, Mr. President?
Well, they're invisible. That's what we found out. They're invisible. They're under a scary thing called the cloak of invisibility. They're there. You just can't see them. Like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Mr. President, this Frank Caliendo, he's able to really mimic your mannerisms and your speech patterns and your tone. He's starting another big TV show tonight. Are you going to be tuning into that, and can you tell us what time it's on?
I believe it's 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, Frank TV on TBS, unless, of course, I got some bad misinformation. That's happened before, but I think it's going to be pretty good. This Caddy Adondo fella can joke up a cake with the best of them. Got two new guys, a guy who's actually from Austin, Texas, lived in Houston for a while, Mike McRae, and then there's Freddie Lockhart, who does a great job from Phoenix, Arizona. And these guys, they're like a troop of troopers, or troop of troopers. Not like Koopa Troopers, which are from Super Mario Brothers.
Hold on just a second, Mr. President. We've only got a few minutes left with you, and we're coming back to a couple stations. Here we go.
Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've only got him for a few minutes. President George W. Bush is here. He's very upset about Frank TV and Frank Caliendo imitating him. Mr. President, is this identity theft to have Frank Caliendo being able to impersonate you to a T, sir?
Well, I hadn't thought of it that way, but I'm glad you brought it up. I think he's okay. I think he's all right. He says silly things, and I don't really say silly things, so I think people will know what the difference is.
But you're the decider. Should he be allowed to imitate you?
I'm the decider, and these are the Decider House rules. That's what this is about, Alex. AJ, if you will. I think everything's going to be fine. I think I'll lay low on this one and ride it out. I'm getting pretty tired of this running the earth stuff.
Do you think you're going to go down in history as the greatest president ever? Because you said in a press conference that in history we'll all be dead. Or are you just not worried about it?
Well, I think I've done a good job. I think I tried my best. I think there's a lot of evildoers out there trying to get us, and I think we stopped them.
Well, in closing, Mr. President, can you put Frank Caliendo back on the line? Because I heard he was at the White House with you today, trying to learn how to be a great leader.
Yeah, let me put him on. He took a nap here. Hold on. Hey, how are you?
Hey, Frank, why are you hanging around with President Bush?
I just thought it would be cool. I met Karl Rove a couple of weeks ago. He introduced me to him. It was great.
Is it true that you've been basically been hired on the side to do basically fake phone calls to foreign leaders when President Bush is taking his 3-hour naps?
No, that's not true, but thank you for starting the rumor.
Hey, to be serious, people on the internet, just from those calls you made to my answer machine with Mancow, they really think George Bush called me, and now they think I'm in league with him.
That's your audience.
No, that's my audience knows it's Frank Caliendo. It's people on YouTube.
You gotta be careful with being too truthful to your own audience, Alex.
All right, Frank Caliendo again. Tell us about the new TV show tonight.
Frank TV on at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. We start out with it seems, W came out this weekend. By the way, on my website, if you want to take a look, there's frankcaliendo.com. Josh Brolin and Oliver Stone talking about watching me to learn how to do the W for the W movie.
I saw that film. Brolin does an uncanny George Bush.
Yeah, and apparently he watched me for some of it to learn how to do it. So it's great that these guys know who I am. I thought that was pretty cool.
FrankCaliendo.com, TBS nationwide tonight, but showing in different time zones. The final question here is, what is your? We're saying your favorite one is Charles Barkley. How did you get into imitating people?
I just always had a little bit of a knack for it as a kid. Growing up my entire life, I would do impressions of friends and stuff, watching Living Color, Saturday Night Live, and do those impressions. And I figured out, I went to school for broadcast journalism and thought, hey, why not take a chance at this? I didn't really like interviewing people, so I didn't want to be a newscaster or anything like that. So I thought, hey, try this, and it worked out.
Did you know who I was whenever Mancow got you to call my home answering machine?
No, I did not at the time.
Okay, and you probably still don't, do you?
I'm still learning.
Okay, well, I'm actually the real George Bush, and that's just a clone they have up there in Washington. Hey, Frank Caliendo, thanks for the time, and I hope to get you back up on the show.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Take care. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen.